Okay, welcome back to the Investigative Journal on this election day, November 8th, 2016 day on our calendar. I'm your host, Greg Anthony. You're listening to FirstAmendmentRadio.com. You can listen to my show every evening, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's on First Amendment. They also played at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and if you can't go there, go to my long-standing website, ARCTICBEACON.com. All right, election day, and I want to just be right up front. I'm taping this show the evening of election eve as I'm watching a Donald Trump rally in New Hampshire. That was the state he won his first primary, and he's there with a huge crowd. I'm talking huge, and these crowds have been so big all over, the country that I've never seen anything like it in my days here on Earth watching political events since the Kennedy administration. And let me tell you something. When you look at the crowds, it's America at its best. It really is. I'm seeing, it looks like America that I knew 20, 30, 40 years ago. Right now, Mayor Giuliani's speaking. And the reason I'm doing this is for one big reason. And that is not to take any precedence over candidates, but to just tell you that everyone has been kind of mesmerized over this election. I mean, more people than I've ever seen. And the reason it really defines what's going on in this country, it's either going to be globalism or Americanism, America first or America last. And at a time when our country really needs something, we need to pray tonight. And I'm talking the night before the election. Because there's so many different things going on that it's hard sometimes to really put your finger on everything. There's so much happening. And I really think America's at the precipice. And tonight before I lay down and go to sleep, I'm going to go say a prayer for us here in America. And I will say this very bluntly. I am so tired of the Clintons that I really believe they need to be in jail for everything they've done since I can remember following them from Arkansas. And I thought, you may say, Greg, why do you want Trump in office? Don't you realize the system is rigged? Who is this guy? Well, I'm just standing up for two principles. One, I want to see Supreme Court justices that are conservative and they uphold the Constitution. And I want to see the Second Amendment upheld. I do not want to see Clinton come in and bring in 550,000 refugees from Syria. Look what's happened in England. Look what's happened in France. And as I'm looking right now, they're bringing on the Trump family. And I thought we'd just click on here and listen a bit to see what's happening. Here we go. What if I can... There we go. We got a little music. The family's coming on stage, a huge crowd. This guy's pulling in 30, 40,000 people. I've never seen anything like it. Let's see what he has to say.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Man, there's a lot of people. This is fantastic. Thank you very much. So, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. First of all, we made a great choice in picking Governor Mike Pence, didn't we? Didn't we? Thank you. Thank you, Karen. What a group. Mike, this is big by any standard. Do you agree? This is huge. And here's the good news. There are thousands of people outside trying to get in. You believe what's going on? So it all began for me in New Hampshire. The first state we won. Remember the promise I made. We will stop those drugs from pouring in, poisoning your children, poisoning everyone else. And they will work very hard to get people off that addiction. It's going to happen. We're going to do it. I said I was going to do it, and we're going to do it. So I want to thank everybody in New Hampshire. Thank you. Also, my family was here. I said, come on. My children were here. Anna, just Tiffany, Jared, Ivanka. Now, we know the Pence family, very, very famous. And by the way, I just looked at the numbers. Indiana's doing very well. You have done a great job. A great job. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Don Jr., Vanessa, Eric, and Laura. They've been such a big part. And you know, I've been reading about all these surrogates going all over for Hillary Clinton. But I had my family, I had the best surrogates of all. They were all over. They were all over. So I just want to thank you. Ivanka, maybe on behalf of the family, say a couple of words.
Well, I was not planning on speaking tonight, but I did want to be here on this last night prior to Election Day to support my father. I am so incredibly proud of him, what he's accomplished today, and I know tomorrow will be another great day. And then he will get to the real work of making this country great, of working for you, the American people, and he will never, ever let you down. Thank you. We're grateful, and God bless.
Thank you very much. So again, go and enjoy it. Let's go have a good time. And by the way, we are going right after this to Michigan, because Michigan is in play. And I may get there a little bit late, but they're waiting. We have thousands and thousands of people. The polls just came out. We're leading in Michigan. We're leading in New Hampshire. We're leading in Ohio. We're leading in Iowa. We're leading in North Carolina. I think we're doing really, really well in Pennsylvania. And I do believe we are leading in Florida. So it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. So I want to thank everybody. And folks, go ahead. And see you in a little while. I think Mike is going to come with me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. Well, you know, we said we want to finish off in New Hampshire because of the incredible relationship I have. But who would have expected this, right? Who would have expected that? This is something. So, a couple of things. Two people I have a lot of respect for, really like as people, credible people. And because they're so important to the area, I thought I would give you this information. They've told me I can do it, so I will do it. Tom Brady.
Okay, I want to cut that off. We'll get back to Donald Trump's rally in New Hampshire. And by the time this show plays tomorrow at 6 p.m., we'll have some idea of what's going on in the elections, because we're on the West Coast here. And by that time, Florida will have an idea of what's going on Because if he doesn't win Florida, because of the way the Electoral College is set up, there's very little chance he can enter into the presidency. And people say, well, Greg, isn't he going to do the same thing? And I said, I don't expect politicians, and he says he's not one, to ever live up to everything they say. But I think it would be a great jolt for religious freedom in this country, a great jolt for business. He wants to cut taxes. He wants to get rid of this crazy stuff with the billions that we spend for global warming that we send overseas, and we don't know where the money goes. We can stand tough against the Iran deal. I don't know if you guys follow it like I do, but you can't give a country like Iran $150 billion and then $1.7 billion to get hostages back, and then what everything that Obama has done and Clinton has done is basically destroying this country from within. Trump at least will give America back a hope, and you never know where that goes. So I definitely am supporting him, and will make the first announcement in my life. I voted for the first time in my life, and I did it for one reason, because I really do think America's on a precipice. Now, I know a lot of people will say, that at least that listen to my show, that Greg, no matter who's there, it's not going to make a difference. I think it really does this time. I need a little more time. You need a little bit more time, and I think he will give us that time. And whether it goes good or bad, it is much better than putting in a crook like Hillary Clinton. I mean, if you realize what she has done, Benghazi, I'm going to tell you about Benghazi really quickly. That's enough for me to say she should never be in a position of power in this country. She left 4 military people to die. She was the reason why Libya's she's disabled the whole Middle East. It's incredible, and I know why she's doing it, because they want to destroy Western civilization as we see it. Now, in Benghazi, it was very simple. They were asking for help. Our ambassador was killed. And wasn't it interesting? It happened on September 11th. Wow. And she let these people die and just go to see the movie 13 Hours. Then she lied to the family members who lost their loved ones. And no one, I don't care what she's done with her emails, national security, she gives national security in her house in some server, and she allows her maid, Maria Cantos, to look at everything. I mean, this is absurd. She should be in jail. And I'm going to say one more thing. We have a pastor that I'm going to do so many shows in the next couple of weeks after the elections are over. We want to get this man out of jail, Tony Alamo. He's sitting there for 175 years while Clintons walk free. They're the ones that should be there. And you know as well as I do, if Clinton is in, they're never, because Clinton was behind putting this Christian ministry. They tried to destroy it. They were in Arkansas. He'll never be released. So I'm going to tell you right now, Trump is my man, because I think we can at least get him to listen. So say a prayer tonight for Tony. Say a prayer for Christianity. Say a prayer for everything. That we get Clintons out of our life once and for all. I want to leave this earth not having to listen to the Wicked Witch of the West. Okay, let's get back to Donald Trump in New Hampshire. And by the time you listen to this, we'll know, but it's good to listen to him anyway, because this is the direction we have to go in.
I am asking for the votes of all Americans. Democrats, Republicans, independent, first-time voters, and there are a lot of those first-time voters, folks, who are so desperately in need of change. Can you imagine having Hillary Clinton for 4 years? Can you imagine? Hillary Clinton's only allegiance is to herself, her donors, and her special interests. My only special interest is to you. Believe me, is to you. That's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm doing this. The corrupt special interests have stolen your jobs and shipped your wealth to other countries. They've betrayed the working class of this country. Tomorrow, the American working class will strike back. It's about time. Real change begins with immediately repealing and replacing Obamacare. It's just been announced that Americans nationwide are going to experience a massive double-digit and triple-digit premium hike. Over 90% of the counties in New Hampshire are losing Obamacare insurers next year. Lots of luck in your negotiation. Honestly, folks, not going to matter. We're going to have it terminated. We're going to have great health care at a fraction of the cost. So it's not going to matter. I want you to leave here happy tonight. Premiums are surging. Companies are leaving. Insurers are fleeing. Doctors are quitting. And deductibles are going through the roof. Yet Hillary Clinton wants to double down on Obamacare, making it even more expensive. I'm asking for your vote so we can repeal and replace Obamacare and save health care for every family in New Hampshire and in our country. Real change also means restoring honesty to government. Let's start by getting rid of Clinton. That's the best. By the way, did you ever see anything like happening right now? Have we ever seen anything like this? 4-star General James Gartrell, 2 weeks ago, for a tiny, tiny infraction by comparison, can go to jail for up to 5 years and might very well. General Petraeus' life was destroyed, reputation totally destroyed, for something that was a fraction of what Hillary Clinton did. What a shame, what a shame, so sad. Hillary Clinton is the most corrupt person ever to seek the office of the presidency of the United States. She threatened national security. She sold her office to the highest bidder. And then, to cover her tracks, she deleted 33,000 emails after receiving a congressional subpoena. That in itself disqualifies her from running for president. She shouldn't be allowed to run. She's being protected by a totally rigged system. I've been saying it for a long time. Drain the swamp. Hillary has shown contempt for the working people of this country. Her campaign in WikiLeaks has spoken horribly about Catholics and evangelicals and so many others. They got it all down, folks. WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks. And what Podesta said about her? Bad instincts. He said she's got bad instincts. And Bernie Sanders said bad judgment, right? So do we want a president with bad instincts and bad judgment? I don't think so. We're going to stand up for the Catholics, and we're going to stand up for the evangelicals. WikiLeaks just released another debate question. Hillary got another one just 1 hour ago. I said I have to mention it. You know, if you go to West Point or Annapolis or the Air Force Academy, and if you get the questions to a test, and if you don't report yourself, they throw you out. Sad. Sad. To me, it's one of the bad things. A lot of my people, they say, oh, let's not talk about that. I said, talk about it. Donna Brazile got the questions. Donna Brazile took those questions and gave them to Crooked Hillary, right? And Crooked Hillary didn't do anything. She took the question. And I'll tell you what, if I were Bernie Sanders, I wouldn't be too happy. And she probably did it with me too, but did we win those debates or what? Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter. So she got those questions. She never turned them in, folks. Remember, I'm dealing with a very dishonest person. My contract with the American voter begins with a plan to end government corruption and to take our country back from the special interests. I want the entire corrupt Washington establishment to hear these words from all of us. When we win tomorrow, we are going to drain the swamp. That is something. That is something. At the core of my contract is my plan to bring our jobs back. New Hampshire has lost 1 in 4 of its manufacturing jobs since NAFTA, a disaster. A deal signed by Bill Clinton and supported by his lovely wife, Hillary. Amazingly, America has lost, listen to this, 70,000 factories since China entered the World Trade Organization. Another Bill and Hillary-backed disaster. We are living through the single greatest jobs theft in the history of the world. There's never been anything like this. The Trump administration will stop the jobs from leaving America, and we will stop the jobs from leaving New Hampshire, believe me. We will stop those jobs. If a company wants to fire their workers, leave New Hampshire and move to another country, and then ship their products back into the United States through what will soon be a very, very strong and powerful border.
Okay, Trump is on his way. We'll get back in the second half hour with him. He wants to build that wall here. I'm here in San Diego, and you know what? I think there's a lot of people need jobs. Let's build that darn thing. I mean, why not? Everybody thinks that's so ridiculous. I think it's a good idea. I always felt it was a good idea, and I don't enjoy Obama just the other day saying that illegal people here it's okay, go vote. I think it's ridiculous. We'll be back in 3 minutes. We'll pick up a little on the Trump rally. I got a couple of comments about it. So come back. The New America is coming tomorrow or tonight, and you'll see what I mean.
The program you are listening to is 100% sponsored by you, the listener, on this First Amendment Rights Media channel. You will notice that there are few commercials on this radio network. There's a good reason for that. Corporate advertising dollars come with strings that limit program content. So without your help, these programs cannot continue on internet or our several affiliates. If you benefit by the educational law programs, we ask you to give. If you are admonished or nurtured by the Bible and ministry programs, we ask you to give. If some voice a cause that you are passionate about, we ask you to give. If you believe in any of these, we ask you to support them as you would a missionary on a continual basis, as if giving a tithe for missionary radio. These programs are not commercially viable and must be supported by those faithful to the cause of truth. Look for the button to sponsor your favorite programs at our listen and schedule pages on the internet. Then, when you subscribe, we will send you the last quarterly MP3 CD of that program immediately, and continue to do so with each new quarter. We will also give you unlimited archive access to all of our programs. We're asking you to give much less than a tithe, so that you may also send support directly to a particular program host, cause, and anywhere else the Spirit may lead you. Do all to the glory of our God and Creator, for His holy nation, the only kingdom that will last forever. Thank you for listening.
The book of Revelation says, "The spirit of prophecy is the testimony of Jesus Christ." This is at the very heart of FirstAmendmentRadio.com. In that spirit, we have created the Prophecy Reality News app for all of your mobile devices, streaming First Amendment Radio 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Available for your Apple, Android device, and smartphone, absolutely free. Get the Prophecy Reality News app installed today, so you can listen to First Amendment Radio wherever you are. The Prophecy.
Since the beginning of time, kings have sought it, nations have fought for it. It has been traded, it has been borrowed, it has been purchased, it has been stolen. There's a reason for it. To secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity, invest with the security of gold and silver. Call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188 or visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net. Listen to Financial Survival with your host Melody Cedarstrom right here on FirstAmendmentRadio.com at 4 p.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Visit discountgoldandsilvertrading.net or call Discount Gold and Silver Trading at 1-800-375-4188. Toll free 1-800-375-4188.
Okay, we're back for the second half hour. And like I said, I was taping this show the night before and listening to Trump's rally, and I'm playing a lot of it on the air tonight for you to listen to. And I just want to make a couple comments and we'll get back to it. And I'll let it just run right through. I've been covering this from the beginning, almost a year. And I've never seen anything quite like it. I watch every rally because I have to, because I wanted to bring to you a different perspective. And I think I've done that. And tomorrow I will talk again about that different perspective you don't get anywhere else. But one of the things I've watched at these rallies is the faces of all these people, the forgotten Americans that are coming out and speaking up. Now, Trump did say he wants to support Catholics. Well, of course, I support Catholics, even though I understand that the Vatican is the Antichrist. You know how many Catholics don't really get it? We have to support these people. And what I'm thinking here is the reason I'm playing Donald Trump for the last time, the last rally, is that I want America to think hard and fast about the hope for the future. Each one of you think, where are you going? It doesn't matter if you're 25 and you can't get a job. And man, I know when I was a young kid, America, I had 4 or 5 jobs. It was like picking and choosing. And as I sit here today as an older guy, I asked myself, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Where do I want to go? And I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of hope for the future. Now, you know I have a law degree. I've never passed the bar. Well, I passed a lot of bars when I was younger. And went inside of them, too. But I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot of people I want to fight for in this country, and there's a lot of things I can do. My good buddy that helped me get through law school happened to be 85 years old, and he was the oldest guy ever to graduate law school in the state of California. And without him, I'd have never got through school. He passed the bar the first year. He died a number of years ago. But Harry was a great guy. And so, next year, this whole year, I'm spending my time studying up for the bar. And you know what? If we don't get Tony out by the time I pass the bar, I'm going to take that case myself. And if I'm sure he's going to be out before that. But if not, I know there's going to be a number of other people that are going to need that. I'm going to dedicate my life to representing Christians. And I finally found something in the law I want to do. Let's get back to Donald Trump.
Military, we need it so badly now. This will be a national effort, and a major part of this rebuilding will be the Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. Going to be a big part of it, folks, a big part. We have now the smallest Navy, by the way. Does anyone know this? The smallest Navy that we've had since World War I. We're going to build it back up. I'm honored to have the endorsement of more than 200 top admirals and generals and 22 Medal of Honor recipients, and the list goes on and up every day. Hillary and our failed establishment have dragged us into foreign wars that have made us less safe, and that we never win. We never win. We fight and fight and fight. Like Mosul, we give them 4 months' notice. We're going into Mosul. What about the element of surprise? Remember the old element of surprise? We are going to be attacking Mosul in 4 months. We will hit them from the rear. We will hit them from the front. We will paratroop in. We will do all sorts of things. Then 3 months, they say again. Then 2 months, then 1 month, then a couple of weeks I'm hearing, we expect to be attacking Mosul next week. These are smart people. One of the reasons we're attacking is we want to get the leaders of ISIS, who we feel are staying in Mosul. They left after the first mention that we're going to attack. Don't these people understand it? Oh, what a bunch of people we have. What a bunch of people. I mean, we've got a president. All he wants to do is campaign for crooked Hillary. That's all he wants to do. You know, he takes that big 747 Air Force One, those big old engines that spew the stuff, right? And he flies it all over the place campaigning for Hillary. And then he talks about, let's not affect the ozone layer. What a joke. What a joke. And he shouldn't be campaigning. He should be out trying to get our jobs back, trying to secure our borders, building up our military, stopping our drug problem. Amazing. Amazing. And Hillary can't fill a room. Look at this is called filling a stadium. And I have no guitar and no piano, right? I mean, she gets Jay-Z and Beyonce the other night. The language, right? The language was so bad. People were insulted. They started walking out. Hillary then walks onto the stage, hugs him. And then she says, Donald Trump uses such foul language. Give me a break. Did you hear what he was saying? And tonight she has Bruce Springsteen. What they don't say is this. So they perform, actually in the case of Jay-Z, they were leaving, because so many of these people never heard language like that, they started to leave. So what happens, they come in, listen to the musician, which I think is demeaning to the political, it's actually demeaning to the political process. They listen, because she can't fill a room. She'd come here, she'd have, I'm telling you, she'd have 100 people sitting on the first floor. We're going to have We have 28,000 people, including the people outside. More than Beyonce, more than Jay-Z, more than anybody. And we don't have a guitar. What we do have is we all have together a great plan to make America great again. That's what we have. And also, in all fairness, is there any place better than a Trump rally to be? I mean, really. There's no place better. So these politicians have shipped our jobs and our wealth all over the world and left our borders wide open at home. That will change immediately upon our victory, believe me, immediately. Got to get out and vote. Tomorrow's the day. Got to get out. We got to get out and vote. One thing I'll say about New Hampshire, I've never disappointed New Hampshire, but New Hampshire has never disappointed me. Remember in the primaries, they said Donald Trump, the phony polls, these people, like, they said Donald Trump may not win New Hampshire. I said, that's surprising. I think I'm going to win. I think I'm going to win. And then we won by 18 points. With a lot of people. We had 17 people. You know what else? Right next door in Massachusetts, where they're represented. Now I know why you like Belichick so much and Tom Brady. By the way, is there a better reference than Tom Brady and Bill Belichick for this one? I don't think so. In Massachusetts, we had, 14 people left? They go like this, boom, boom, boom. I think we had 14 people left. We got 49.5% of the vote. And these dishonest pundits said, Donald Trump has not broken 50. How do you break 50 when you have 14 people? But we won Massachusetts, got over 49%. And Massachusetts is represented by Pocahontas, right? Pocahontas. It's represented by Pocahontas. Oh, she's terrible. She is just a terrible person. Terrible. Clinton thinks she's doing herself a favor to use this woman as a surrogate. Everybody that watches her, they say, she is a terrible human being. She is terrible. So, I don't know who's going to challenge her, but whoever does, I hear a very great baseball pitcher is going to challenge her. He's a great, and you know what? He's a great guy. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he's a great guy. But Elizabeth Warren is terrible. And you know what? Let me tell you, she's a terrible senator. Take a look at what she's passed. Nothing. And in the Senate, everybody hates her. They don't want to even deal with her. So I'll make you a deal. You can have Pocahontas. I'll take Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, okay? And from now on, it's going to be America first. To all Americans, I say it's time for change and time for leadership. Just think about what we can accomplish in the first 100 days of the Trump administration. We're going to have the biggest tax cut since Ronald Reagan, even today. And Hillary is going to raise your taxes substantially. We're going to eliminate every unnecessary job-killing regulation. We will cancel every illegal Obama executive order. He goes out and plays golf so much that he doesn't have time to convince Congress to go and let's do it the way it's supposed to be done, right? Right? I mean, he's played more golf than most people in the PGA Tour. This guy, is it over 300 rounds? Hey, look, it's good. Golf is fine. But always play with leaders of countries and people that can help us. Don't play with your friends all the time. We are going to protect religious liberty, rebuild our military, and we are going to finally take care of our veterans properly. Our veterans properly. Our veterans have been very mistreated, and I want to thank them for the tremendous support, and the military, the tremendous support I got. They do polls, and it's like, forget it. It's like I'm not running against anybody. And our law enforcement has been so great. They've been great. We're going to provide school choice and put an end to Common Core. We're bringing our education local. And we will support the men and women of law enforcement. Great people. And save our Second Amendment, which is under siege. And appoint justices to the United States Supreme Court who will uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. Think of this. I started on June 16th, long time ago, from way back. Can you imagine this? And now I can say, you have one day. But it's no longer one day. It's like just like tomorrow morning. Who is going to vote tomorrow morning, please? I promise you this. I will never, ever let you down. I promise you. I didn't need to do this. You know, I built a great company, one of the great companies, some of the great real estate assets in the world. I enjoyed my life, and I was on the other side. You know, I'm criticizing the other side because I understand the other side as well as anybody. But our country was in trouble, and I love our country. And I looked at what was happening, and I'm really happy I did this. I'm really happy I did this. It's been an amazing experience, and we are indeed going to make our country great again. You have one day to make every dream you ever dreamed for your country and your family come true. You have one magnificent chance to beat this corrupt system and deliver justice for every forgotten man, for every forgotten woman, and for every forgotten child in this nation. Do not let this opportunity slip away. Folks, it's never going to happen again. Never going to happen. In 4 years from now, never going to happen again. And people are voting that they never saw before. These are great people, but they never saw anybody they wanted. They're voting in numbers like they've never seen in Texas, in Florida. No matter where you look, they're voting in numbers like they've never seen before. We are fighting for every citizen who believes that government should serve the people, not the donors and not the special interests. And we are fighting to bring us all together as Americans. Just imagine what our country could accomplish if we started working together as one people, under one God, saluting one American flag. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Such a great honor. Incredible people. You're incredible people. I'm asking you to dream big, because with your vote, we are just one day away from the change you've been waiting for your entire life. To all of the people in all of our cities and towns, I say these words to you tonight. I am with you, I will fight for you, and I will win for you. I will win for you. Together we will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much, everybody. God bless you.
Okay, Trump just wrapped up that rally in New Hampshire. He's on his way for the final one. I don't know how the guy does it, to be honest with you. I've done some public speaking in my life, but to do it like this, it's an amazing story. I've never seen a candidate since Kennedy. Kennedy was like this. Reagan was a bit more measured, same message. Now, the point I'm trying to make, he's on his way to Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, you may not know this, but I used to work in Michigan, so I know it quite well. And I worked there when it was a great place. The cars were rolling out, people were working. What a town to live in and be a journalist in. I loved it. I used to go down to Tiger Stadium. It was a great place to be. Look what's happened to that city. Trump's going back. You know something? Here's what I'm getting at, folks. A lot of you millennials, a lot of you younger people don't remember what America was like 40, 50 years ago. And all I'm saying is that I always want to put the Jesuits and the Vatican into this equation, which separates me from a lot of people, because you're going to hear a lot of my shows that tell you really what's going on behind the scenes, as best as I can find out, knowing that it's a lot of secret societies that do this. So here's my take, and if I have to eat crow and I'm wrong, I will do that, and promise you I'll eat a lot of crow, and I will say I was wrong. But here's the way I feel tonight. Bringing the Jesuits into the equation, I think that Trump will win with their hand of approval for one big reason. You know, they always want to create chaos out of, order out of chaos. Who are the best people to create chaos? It's not good, hard-working Americans who go home to their farms, who go to work every day. It's the left wing that, if you've seen what they've done to these rallies, I was talking to a good friend of mine who was we went to law school together. He had no idea about a lot of the things I was saying, because he doesn't listen he listens only to CNN and the liberal media, which is completely like Pravda in Russia. And Project Veritas, I said, do you know what that is? He said, no. I said, well, the Clinton campaign has paid people to $1,500 to go and create fights at Trump rallies, then blame it on Trump. So what we have here is the poor people, the left-wing people that are on welfare, that have been giving all these government subsidies. They'll do anything, because we got to create jobs. That's the whole story. And the world gets a lot better. So here's what happens. Here's my thinking on how the Jesuits play into this. If Clinton got in, good, solid Americans will go home and, they'll say, fine, we'll get on with it. We'll pay excess taxes. We'll do all these things. They're not going to they're not going to create havoc. But guess who will? The left-wing liberals. That's why Trump will win. Because the Jesuits want that chaos. And guess what will happen if Trump wins? A lot of good, hard-working Americans will love it. But, oh boy, watch what happens in the left. These are the people that will create the chaos. The division between black and white. This idea that whites can't live with blacks. That's a Jesuit idea. We could all live together. We know that. But that's why I believe, and I'm saying this the night before the election. I don't have any poll. I don't see what's going on in Florida or anything. And if I'm wrong, I'll come out the next day and tell you why I was wrong, and let's see where we go from there. But what's your thoughts on that? Who are you thinking? I called my brother tonight, who's a staunch Republican. And you know what he said to me? Clinton will win by a landslide. And I said, why? He doesn't get it. I've known him for my whole life. I used to change his diapers. He's 10 years younger than me. He doesn't get it either. And I bet him $50 Trump will win. I think he's going to owe me $50 at Christmas when I go to see him. But the point I'm trying to make is that there is a reason why Trump is there. And I think I explained it. Now, all of the things we've done on this show, almost seeming mainstream at times, isn't it fun? You know, most people say, Greg, why are you so patriotic? Listen, I've always been patriotic. I've always wanted to see the best for everyone, and the best is always when you know the truth. If you can get to the bottom of everything, the best comes out. What is the big stumbling block? It's always getting to that point. And you know, when I talk about Catholics and I say the Antichrist of the Vatican, it isn't the Catholic people. It is the hierarchy. Now, if you, as a person, search for spiritual happiness, check out the hierarchy of every organization you work with. That's all I ask. And if you're comfortable with it, okay. Well, let's see what happens if I have to eat crow tomorrow. Back tomorrow on the Investigative Journal.
Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.
I know you all want answers, and believe me, so do I, and I'll do my best to get them.
Despite Nicolas Cage's promise to do his best to get left behind rapture answers for us, don't hold your breath. Not everyone believes Left Behind is true prophecy. Some may even regard as conspiratorial the mainstream re-release of the Left Behind movie, with actor Nicolas Cage portraying the main character, as an attempt to further reinforce in the minds of all this perception of false prophecy, in order to condition the masses for the play about to begin. If you want true Bible prophecy answers, get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. The author exposes the Latin rapture origin, the 7-year tribulation deception, true Bible revelation of Daniel's 70 weeks, the abomination of desolation, the restrainer, America in the Revelation, the image of the beast and the mark of the beast, and the truth about God's chosen people, and so much more about Bible prophecy. This book will shatter the Left Behind paradigm of future events. Get the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. Visit crosstheborder.org, CROSS, crosstheborder.org, to get your print, EPUB, or PDF version of the book, The Rapture Will Be Canceled. That's crosstheborder.org.